Hey everybody, hopefully you can hear us. Maybe. Hey everybody, hopefully you can hear us. Maybe.
There's a few people on.
Hey everybody, hopefully you can hear us. Maybe.
There's a few people on.
Hey everybody. I think I got the endless loop ending. It was like looping our audio. That was fun. Cool. We're gonna get started here in a couple minutes. Let me make sure Crimson gets in here, and then we'll get kicked off. So thanks for tuning in, if you're here.
And if you're not here, I hope you're doing something fun.
Yeah, you're listening to it eventually if you're hearing this. So I guess that's okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Let's not keep the two people that are on live with us waiting. Three
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, we don't want to keep all three people that are online with us waiting. So we're going to get started. Crimson's going to join us here in a couple of minutes as soon as I harass him enough that he shows up. So that'll be great.
Lester is not probably going to be with us tonight.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like Lester's going to make it tonight. But we still have a great show. So a year ago, on this date, I think, or like plus or minus a day, Marvel Champions came out, which is super exciting. So our next three episodes are going to be celebrating like the first year of Marvel Champions. So this first episode, since it's Halloweeny, we're going to be focusing on the bad guys, and we're going to talk about the Nemesis kits and rank those Nemesis kits and tell different stories about when we interacted with those Nemesis in the last year. I don't know if that's the right word, but I think it is.
It's fine.
Next episode, one of our listeners asked us to give an honest review of how we think Marvel Champions is doing after a year of content. Where do we think it is? Not through our possibly overly optimistic points of view, but where do we think they have rooms for improvement and where do we think they blow the competition out of the water? So that'll be next episode. And then we had another listener write in a topic that said, hey, I only use the pre constructed decks because I don't have time to do lots of deck building. Which ones do you guys think are the strongest and weakest? And we might do that as another live episode where we talk about all the precons and argue about which hero we think is strongest within its pre-constructed deck. So
So
should be
that
fun.
so you're telling me we have to go and play the pre-constructed decks?
You haven't played the pre-constructed decks?
Well, it's been a while since I played the core box pre-constructed decks.
I think that my wife only plays the pre-constructed decks, so I'm just gonna make her rank them for me and hopefully.
Okay, there you go. That sounds good.
All right, so each hero has a unique 15 card signature set, and we talked about those like the rest of the year. But the night before Halloween, like I said, we're going to talk about the darker side of hero selection. When you select a hero, you also select a Nemesis set. And right now, the main way that Nemesis set comes out is if you draw that Shadows of the Past card that is in most of the scenarios. You're going to shuffle a couple cards into the deck, put a scheme and a minion into play. And that minion can really foil your plans. He can be really tricky, or he can almost be like a treat. So we're going to start with the Nemesis sets that we think are the weakest, and then go up to the Nemesis sets that we think are the strongest, and we'll see where our opinions vary. The way this will work. Oh, you go first.
I was just going to say, spoiler, we have some of the same opinions, but I think it might get a little heated on a couple of these Nemesis minions. We'll see.
We'll see. We have some strong opinions. But
Yeah, we do.
we don't want this just to be about us, so we're going to let people jump into the show live during the show if you guys have a story about a specific Nemesis. So if you're on Twitch, we can read any of your stories from the chat just to tell people, like, hey, if we start talking about Crossfire and you have a really good story about how Crossfire just ruined your day, spit it into the chat and Americano will read it out. Also, if you're on Discord, we have a channel, live episode discussion, so you guys can chit chat in there and we'll read from there as well. But if you ever have a microphone and want to tell a story, like especially if we talk about a certain nemesis and you're like, I have a good story about that, there's a little voice channel called Live Show Q, Queue. If you hop in there, at some point in time in the next couple of minutes, we'll pull you into the show, and you can just tell us your story live. It'll go right into the episode, and you can contribute any way you see fit, even if it's just telling me that I'm wrong. So it's probably the way it is. So Crimson is still not here. Let me yell at him again. These time zones things, people just don't get, apparently.
Well, I don't have to worry about time zones. I'm in Arizona, and we don't change for daylight savings. I mean, I guess I have to worry about time zones. I kind of threw somebody off earlier, I think, on Discord. Who was that?
A Patrick Pig, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We did conveniently pick, a daylight savings weekend to do this first live show, so that was convenient. You're welcome.
Is it daylight savings?
It's like tomorrow night.
See, I don't even know because we don't do that here. So
yeah, crazy.
We also maybe we'll do it after, but we were going to talk about a little treat. We're talking about our favorite events from each aspect for a brief moment.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that as an intermission here in the middle somewhere.
That'll be good. Right, that'll be a good break.
We're going to move on to 13th place. So there's 13 heroes out here. So we're going to move on without Crimson because we all agreed on the first hero, or Nemesis, which is probably more of a treat than a trick.
Spoiler.
And I'm going to turn on the Twitch chat. So if you chat in Twitch, it's going to like pop up on the screen and everything. So you guys will forever be embedded in our YouTube. I'm sorry. Now that you've all talked and we already put it in there, you're welcome. So, first up, 13th place, Baron Mordo. What do you guys say about this guy, Americano?
Okay. So maybe it's because Doctor Strange is so strong, and that probably has a lot to do with it. Like when he comes out, no one even cares if Doctor Strange gets stunned. No one cares if Doctor Strange gets confused because we only care about the invocation deck. So I guess the worst card in this deck is Open the Dark Dimension, but at the same time, so that's the actual side scheme. It may help you, right? Like if you don't want the top card of the invocation deck, if you don't want to have to play it, and you don't have a way to get to the next one, it helps you. I don't know. It seems like a weird thing. Yeah. Anyway, Baron Mordo when he comes out, I don't care.
Yeah.
So.
I have the same opinion of him. I think he can really easily help you more than hurt you, and his counter spells also don't affect the invocation deck. So most of the Nemesis sets really try to hurt the invocation deck, but in this one it actually kind of helps you because those counter spells don't affect your invocations. Even though they're events, you're not playing the events. You're like exhausting Strange, paying cost to resolve its effects. We're going to quick. We've got our first person in the live show queue, so I'm going to pull them in here because they are heading out before we get to it, but he or she has a good Taskmaster story.
All right, let's hear it.
Hey, Trappit, you are in the chat.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Very good. Why don't you tell us your Taskmaster story?
So I was playing Black Widow last weekend, actually. And I had her set up pretty well. I had I think it was 13 upgrades sitting on the table. And we were fighting Kang. And completely forgot about the level 3 where he grabs your Nemesis. And luckily, I had flipped down. So all he did was scheme. But when he came out, I was like, oh, he gets +1 for each of my upgrades.
Yeah, that would be bad. That would be bad.
Yeah, we were at first round, you're at 15, 16 threats all of a sudden. So I can imagine that, timing when you get the Shadows of the Past in another game, it might be just as bad.
Brutal.
So.
Yeah, you're gonna dislike my ranking of him.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Based on that, based on your story.
I apparently
Yeah.
undervalued him.
Yeah.
It was
So-
one of those times when I was just like, that's the worst time to play Black Widow was right when that came out. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the story. We appreciate it. So I know you've
Yeah.
got only a little bit of time. So why don't you tell us one more thing? Who is your favorite hero to play in Marvel Champions?
Oh, I know everybody thinks he's OP, and I understand why, but I've been playing Doctor Strange in the campaign with some friends on protection. I like the protection aspect. I like the ability to stand back up and kind of
Yes.
help each other's.
That's what I'm talking about.
Gross. I mean, that's okay. We'll say it's okay for now, but gross. Green cards.
Yeah, my wife's favorite hero is Doctor Strange. So, good choice, solid choice,
Mm-hmm.
Strong choice.
strong choice. That's right.
Well, thanks a lot.
All right.
We appreciate it.
Thanks, Trappit.
We'll have a good night.
Yep, you too. Sweet. Yeah, so Baron Mordo, Doctor Strange Nemesis. Yeah, I think you said it all, right? He doesn't do much, doesn't really hurt us or affect us in any way as Doctor Strange. I think as we get further into these Nemesis minions, some of the minions really pack a punch for the hero they come with, but he's one that, like, he's almost worse for the other heroes because all the other heroes now lose the access to their events from those cards that get shuffled in.
Yeah.
And they lose the spotlight because Doctor Strange can become more spotlighty depending on what the side scheme does to your invocation deck.
Okay. Should we jump on to number 12?
Yeah, let's do it.
So Crimson and I actually had the same ranking for this one.
I was shocked.
Yeah. He just must have read mine and thought about, that looks good. So yeah. You want to talk about mine and Crimson's first?
Yeah, why don't you guys go for it?
Okay. I don't even know how to pronounce her name. Titania? That sounds right.
I assume it's like Titan, like
Titania?
the
I don't
Titans
know.
of Earth or something.
I'm sure people will correct me right now on Twitch or on Discord. She's, I don't know. She's okay. She's got 6. Do we have any other Nemesis minions with 6 besides Abomination? I don't think we do. 6 seems to be the only. 6 is like a good amount. Makes it a little bit tougher to defeat the minion, but her attack is just. She-Hulk can knock her down so much, so quickly that it doesn't really affect anything. Really, I mean that's what it boils down to, and I think that She-Hulk, if I'm remembering correctly, has maybe some not very good thwarting cards, but she has the most thwarting cards in any hero kit potentially. So having that crisis icon on her side scheme, the personal challenge, isn't a huge deal when you're playing with She-Hulk. So
I can totally
anyway.
see that. Yeah. I just
That's where I'm
She-Hulk, so I don't have very strong opinions on her.
Yeah, that's where I'm coming from. And maybe Crimson, he just plays tons of She-Hulk, and so he just has figured out how to defeat this Nemesis minion. I don't know.
We'll find out. Yeah, maybe he's the She-Hulk expert, so when he hops in, we're going to make him defend his choices.
That's right.
This is like a surprise to me because I only have one monitor right now, so I don't even know who I put. So we're going to find out. I put Jan Rog. That's right. So I think Jan Rog is...
Titania. There you go, Bob. Thanks. Titania.
Oh, he got it in the chat. Good. I'm
Yeah.
glad. I think Jan Rog is super weak because, first of all, Captain Marvel is really strong, like one of the strongest heroes in the core set, yet she has one of the weakest Nemesis sets, in my opinion. He only really interacts with his scheme, so yeah, that's going to come out when you draw Shadows of the Past, but you can usually just remove that scheme immediately and then just ignore him. I think the little...
Well, he has the...
Yeah.
He has the Kree Manipulator, though. It's only one threat on the main scheme, but it also surges.
Yeah,
so.
It's kind of like an Insight 1 surge, right?
Yeah.
So I was going to say, that card can be a little bit scary, but, for the most part, it's
that's
just
the
like
scariest
a 1
card for
boost
me.
on a scheme attack.
That's fair.
Yeah, his treachery is much scarier, like Addercap said. So, I just haven't had much trouble with him. I don't know.
Yeah, probably because Captain Marvel is really strong. She could take him out pretty easily.
Ramus said, I can't help but see Jan Rog as Judge Dredd. That's how I feel, too. In fact, I didn't know a lot of Captain Marvel when I started playing this game, so the first time I drew that, I was like, Judge Dredd, I'm pretty sure that's not a Marvel character. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. But no, there's not. He's also the Nemesis minion of the ones we've seen so far that has like the least comic book appearances. So that's pretty interesting. Wimpy. All right, we're done with number 12. Obviously,
Okay.
still a treat here. Going to 11. Ha! Well, Crimson's not here to defend himself because he's been lost to the time stream, apparently. But he agreed with me pretty much. He only had one place difference for Jan Rog. And my guess is his reasoning is the same, that Captain Marvel, really strong. Jan Rog, really weak. Doesn't make much sense as a pairing. Oh, look, I agreed with you guys, too. That's good. I feel better now. Because I was thinking, why did I rate Titania so high? Apparently, I didn't. So I had her at 11. Hey, Crimson's here now. Look at this.
Hey, what's up? Sorry about that.
We figured you were the imposter in Among Us. And
Yeah.
you just couldn't leave.
Yeah,
That's
no,
got
I totally, honestly forgot about what time it was. I was just playing, man. That's
Okay.
completely my fault.
Well,
We need to.
we're going through Nemesis sets. So why do you have She-Hulk's Nemesis so low? Is it just because she's bad?
I mean, the biggest reason is she's easy for She-Hulk to deal with. That's
Yep.
kind of how I rated the Nemesises. Or is it Nemesi or Nemesises?
Nemesis?
No, and
I rated them depending on solo. So if I ran into them with that character, how hard were they to deal with just that character?
okay.
I get you. I think that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing is obviously to play Protection or Justice and never have to worry about Shadows of the Past.
That would be ideal, right? Okay, so we got through 12.
Nemesis. That's right. Addercop says Nemesis. Yeah, these ones are Nemesis, I guess.
Every
These
time
first few.
I try to say plural Nemesis, is I think of the really bad hero movie Mystery Men with Ben Stiller. The bad guy tries to figure out if it's Nemesis or Nemesises, and it's a silly scene, but I just can't stop thinking of it now. So I had Jan Rog as 12th Crimson, and you had him as 11th. So we surprisingly agree a lot in this. That's what I learned while making this PowerPoint. So apparently we're like the same. So Jan Rog, why do you have him at 11th?
Hang on, I gotta ask me that in a moment.
Okay, we'll go on. I had Titania the same way.
Who'd I have?
You had Taskmaster.
Oh, that's right. Taskmaster. That's right.
Embarrassing.
Trapit was not going to like my ranking of Taskmaster.
I don't have any good stories for Taskmaster. Every time I'm playing Black Widow, I expect him to just destroy my face, and then either draw him really early when I have no upgrades out, or I draw him, Widows bite him, and then he goes away. So I also think he could be super scary, but I've never had like an instance of him being scary enough to like really ruin my day.
That's my experience has been. I've been able to avoid him for the most part. I think I have had him come out one time, and he actually scared me, and it was like a 4/4, but he only has 4 health, so I was able to dispatch him pretty quickly. So my experience with his set has been, I don't know. I haven't been super scared of Taskmaster. Maybe, hopefully that will change. I would love to see that change. I would love to be proven wrong, but
Yeah, I think Remus just said in the chat if he had more than 4 health, he'd be a lot more scary, and I agree.
I agree. I think 4 to 5. I think 5 to 6 makes it really tricky potentially, but yeah.
If there's ever a villain that like increases the health of all minions that enter play, that could be scary. But
Yes.
not yet. Wimpy. All right, on to 10th. I had Viper as 10th, and this is a lot similar to my reasoning for Doctor Strange being so low. Like, Spider-Woman's just really good, despite what I might say on our podcast. because she could just handle her right away, right? It reduces your hand size, which is terrible, but you've already drawn your hand for that turn, so you don't have to discard if you can get rid of her in that first round, and usually you can do so. She does have 3 boost icons, which can be kind of annoying, but for the most part, we haven't had problems dispatching her because Spider-Woman just takes care of her right away. It doesn't take too much for her to get rid of it, so I don't know. I haven't had horrible run-ins with the Viper yet. She could be pretty nasty if you're running with other Hydra modular sets. Like, she can add more stuff onto Legions of Hydra and all sorts of horrible stuff. But it just hasn't come up for me yet. Does anybody have any good Viper? Well, I'll wait until you guys rank the Viper, but I don't have any good Viper stories. Crimson
so what,
had Taskmaster. What's up?
Viper, I agree with you, like, on that. Yeah, she reduces your hand size. It's terrible, but if you can kill her that turn, you don't have to worry about it. So her one negative can be avoided. Now, there are some very strong things about her. The fact that she's a Hydra minion, which can be very devastating.
I'm excited to see. Do we have any cards that interact with Elite yet? We do, right?
There's a campaign, or like one of the Red Skull side schemes, maybe. Like, it lets you discard a non-elite minion.
Oh, so it's. Oh, that's dumb. Come on.
Yeah, nothing good that interacts with elite.
Well, I doubt you'll see anything good that interacts with Elite.
Bob says that one time the Viper made him draw 1 less card. So, it happened this one time.
Okay, one time.
One time.
For Young Rog, the thing that I really dislike about him is that 3 attack. That is a huge amount of attack damage. I mean, realistically, Abomination is also in that range, with that high attack range. The difference is Hulk has a whole bunch of hit points. Captain Marvel doesn't.
All right.
Okay.
Who did you have for 10th here? Thomas Edison. Tell us about why Thomas Edison should be scary, or not scary.
I haven't experienced him very much, honestly, and
That's because we always trash Miss Marvel, I know.
I know I'm going to get crap for it right now. I don't know. 3 scheme is high. I think that's the highest we have for any Nemesis minion. It is. But the 1 attack doesn't terrify me, and Miss Marvel is pretty good at bursting, right? Like,
Yep.
she can take out a minion if she needs to, and then take out Thomas Edison potentially the same turn, right? Because she can burst. And so, I don't know. I just think that her burst potential can take... I mean, he's 3 hit points, so he's not... 3 hit points for her to take out 3 damage is pretty easy. So
the robot's more scary.
Yeah. Bob says the scheme is definitely harsh for his 3 scheme because Miss Marvel likes to flip. So that's a good point.
I just really am terrified of birds, so I couldn't rank him this low.
But I mean, even with the 3 scheme, she can burst and get a lot of threat off of the main scheme. So
This is true. And he is not a bird. That's true.
And he's a bird.
All right. 9th place. Why did I put these next to each other? Oh, Crimson and I just traded. That's funny. Similar opinions. Good thing we already talked about it. I have Taskmaster pretty low. The scariest thing for me in Taskmaster is I'm terrified of when he goes into the encounter deck, because that boost symbol is what can kill you. So if you see Taskmaster really early and shuffle the villain deck, that's when I start to get terrified with him. So I had him a little bit higher than you guys, and that's because when I have seen him cause problems is when he came up as a boost card and I didn't have a target acquired ready. I think one time I had the villain get him as a boost card for scheming, and the villain schemed for 9. It was horrible. There's very little you can do about it. But yeah, so he doesn't get the 3 boost icons, which is good, because he usually is worth more than 3, because I tend to play a ton of upgrades. This is the one time where Honorary Avenger hurts you. The one time. All right. And Americano's being weird again, always picking ahead. Crossfire. Why do you think Crossfire is so wimpy? Is it because you think Hawkeye is so strong?
I mean, that he actually is really strong. I know that we kind of give each other crap about Spider-Woman and Hawkeye. I actually have enjoyed playing Hawkeye. I think he is very strong. He is a glass cannon, so crossfire can be pretty deadly. The quick strike, we talked about this a little bit on Discord. Quick strike is pretty good. His attacks do gain piercing. So, does anyone ever put tough status cards on Hawkeye anyway? Like, is that even a thing that he gets? I don't know. Maybe so, but because I think that Hawkeye can take 2 and get rid of crossfire very quickly. There's nothing that stops him from, there's no guard minions or anything. And if I recall correctly, Marked for Death, the side scheme, could potentially bring Mockingbird into your hand more quickly if she's at the bottom of your deck or something, right? So I think that's, again, it's kind of a weird thing to have a Nemesis set help you that way.
Right. I'll say
I like it.
It's good for you and your Hawkeye. I'll save my crossfire thoughts for later.
Okay.
Ramus in chat said that he tends to get really lucky with Quick Strike, and it's always an alter ego, because the text is not here, but Quick Strike says when this minion, and I think it's when the minion engages you, he attacks your hero, the minion attacks your hero. So if you're an alter ego, you get to avoid that Quick Strike, and that can make these Quick Strike minions very weak. My experience is the opposite, where I am usually not an alter ego, but we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yep.
All right, Crimson had 8th. I think Crimson just led our lists and was like, I'm going to agree with everything.
No.
So I put Crossfire at 8, although I do agree he's easy for Hawkeye to get rid of. He does his boost can be painful in multiplayer because I agree, you don't really see tough on Hawkeye that often. So I feel like piercing isn't that important. The 2 damage or health.
But okay, maybe he'll move up a little bit when that happens.
I mean, it's definitely possible. And if that happens, that's kind of why I put him at 8, because I don't know, he feels kind of average. He just feels like another minion, like a minion that could be in a modular set instead of a Nemesis set.
Yeah, I can see what you're going with there. I took the set as a whole, and there are some gross cards we'll talk about later.
Yeah, I know. I know what you're going to talk about, and I kind of tend to agree with you, but...
So I put Killmonger real low at 8th. And
boo!
That's probably because of the way I play Black Panther. I'm usually either playing Black Panther Leadership, at which point none of these Nemesis minions matter, because you just kill them with Maria Hill or whoever right away. Or I play Black Panther Aggression, and you can just Skilled Strike or Mean Swing once with your basic attack and get rid of Killmonger. In Black Panther's hero kit itself, the ability to not take damage from Black Panther upgrades is actually really, really brutal. But I think Black Panther is strong enough that I don't think Killmonger really gets in his way. And I don't think, the other cards that come in Killmonger's kit are strong, but they're not stronger than some of the backup cards that the other Nemesis minions get. I think he has the one that can place Threat in the Scheme, that's a little bit scary, and the one where you discard cards from the encounter deck and take damage, but I haven't had bad experiences yet. That doesn't mean I won't in the future. And you're over here undervaluing Quick Strike again, so tell us about Vulture.
Yeah. He's just an old man. The 3 Quick Strike is probably the worst part about him, I think, honestly. Maybe I did he has got the stun with the sweeping swoop. I probably did just rank this one too. He probably is more of a trick than a treat. The highway robbery, it's not a huge deal. That could also, I think, could also be I don't know. That doesn't seem to bother me as much. I'm more concerned with his attack, Quick Strike, and his sweeping swoop. But again, that's all he does is the Quick Strike with sweeping swoop. I don't know.
Highway robbery gets really ugly in multiplayer, right? Because 3 threat per player on the side scheme. If 4 player, that's 12 threat. So a lot of people have to invest to get rid of it, or a really good Justice player. And it takes a card from everyone's hand, right? I'll just play with
Crimson, and he can get rid of it by himself.
Yep.
It is cool. You could set up like a big turn for later once you know what cards are under there. If like everybody's combo piece gets put under there, but at the same time, like you might think, oh, I have no problem with the side scheme, and then he steals your Four Justice, or he steals your like readying card as Spider Woman, or as Spider Man, he might steal your Spider Tracer. Right? Spider Man actually has a really hard time getting rid of Thwart. That's why I think he's a little bit hard. But he's also a minion, which Spider Man really likes, because then you can play Spider Tracer on him. So I don't know. Toss up.
Toss up.
7th place, Jan Rog from Americano. You got any Jan Rog fastballs for us?
I just don't like Crew Manipulator. That card, I think, has just hurt me too much. I actually, whenever I see Surge, I get really mad because I hate seeing another encounter card. When I get one encounter card and I see Surge, I'm like, crap. I wasn't expecting that. I don't want another encounter card. That's why I don't play Heroic. There's a reason I don't play Heroic. Because I don't want to see all... Oh, anyway. So anytime I see Surge, I want to flip the table. Not really, but Yanrong does that to me. Yes, Captain Marvel is really strong. But he, Crew Manipulator, I think is a pretty tricky... the ability on it. I don't think the boost icon is that good, but... the boost ability.
I always thought his treason was worse than the Kree Manipulator, but I get your opinions on Surge. But what I just wrote down is that next time I do a custom set, give every card that I can Surge. Only the standard set won't Surge, and then send it to Americano to test.
You know what? I will do it, and I will I will be so mad at you that I will, we'll see. Do it.
Sure.
Do it.
All right, Crimson and I, our thoughts finally aligned at 7th place with Thomas Edison. We both have him middle of the pack. What are you thinking here?
It's mainly because the robot. I think the robot's better than Thomas.
That's fair. That's fair.
They work really good together because the robot's got such high health that when the robot's out and you got Thomas, it takes a little bit to get rid of it to burst it down, and you have to get rid of a card for the robot. It can be a little bit of a pain in Miss Marvel, and part of that's because she sucks so bad too.
Oh man, I think that the trickiest part, and I agree with what you're saying. I think the scariest that this comes into play is when the encounter deck's so small that when you shuffle in the rest of the encounter cards, this robot and harvest, you're going to draw it, right? So anyway,
yep.
You're going to have those two.
I've played a lot of Miss Marvel recently because of that last Power Up episode, and I've started to actually really click and like Miss Marvel. So I now have flip sides. I'm with Bob here in the chat. Miss Marvel is great. Crimson just needs to get on her level.
Yeah, Crimson, you got called out, man.
She-Hulk and try a little bit, and she would be fine. The reason I have this middle of the pack, I think Edison and the robot are very strong. The robot, especially in multiplayer, because as Miss Marvel, you can plan for the robot and put a bunch of mental resources in your deck. But if you're playing with your buddy Thor, who's just loaded his deck with 25 energy cards, and he plays Defender of the Nine Realms and flips this robot, all of a sudden he just can't attack it unless Miss Marvel is in hero form, making it so you can actually damage the robot. It's real painful. But the treachery cards that come in her kit, I think it's for each persona support in play, the villain heals 1 damage. If there were no personas, this card gains Surge. First of all, it almost never gains Surge. And healing 1 to 3 on a treachery card doesn't feel that bad. It just takes 1 extra Haymaker to get rid of it. And the side scheme only has 2 threat per player. Yeah, it mills your deck a little bit, but 2 threat per player is pretty wimp sauce, I think.
Man, I think I'm surprised we still have listeners after all the hate Miss Marvel gets on this podcast.
When we did our survey for the last World Mine, I think that we interviewed 15 people, and 9 of them Miss Marvel was their favorite character.
Yep.
Clearly, we don't understand something.
Yeah, we're in the wrong here, that's for sure.
Oh, wait, time out. We're halfway through, so we have to answer our listener question. Why don't you read our listener question, Americano?
Yep, let me find it here. How far up was it? Let's see.
This is how much we
pay attention to
that thread.
Okay. Here we go. Mr. L on Discord. since we have a decent-sized card pool now, I would like to inquire what is our personal favorite event card for each of the 4 aspects. And I will tell you, I listened to the Critical Encounters podcast, their Halloween episode, and if they're listening to this, or when they listen to this, they're going to give me a lot of crap. So that's all I have to say.
Well, you should go first. You're volunteering.
Okay. Well, the first one, let's go with aggression. Toe-to-toe is my favorite event, aggression event.
For me.
Is it the same? Okay. They're giving a lot of crap. A one cost event where 5 damage isn't bad is really good, even in an aggression aspect card. Yeah, you're taking an attack, but I think it's a good finisher card. Like with end of the game, right, where you have plenty of health, for example. Taking out minions that are only going to deal you like 1 damage. All of these Nemesis minions, well, not all of them, most. It doesn't defeat Abomination or Titania, however you say it. Bob will correct me. But also, this card is amazing in a Spider-Man deck. Like, it is my absolute favorite card to play with Spider-Man. Absolute favorite. Because of backflip and anyway, it's freaking awesome. It's an amazing. I think this is an amazing card.
I said Mean Swing because I like combos, and I mean Mean Swing's not going to work with every hero, especially if Yarnbjorn's the only weapon in your deck. But you go through your deck fast enough, you'll find it eventually. And for me, I like using my hero to attack or thwart, and if I can attack with +3 attack, I'm going to do it as often as I can. So I fit Mean Swing into every deck I can with aggression, even if it's to spite myself. I just think it's a fun card.
I like Mean Swing a lot. I honestly like Toe-to-Toe a lot. But the more I think about it, the more I'm going to go with Skill Strike.
Also good.
Okay.
Which is the Mean Swing without the weapon.
Anything that's 0 cost, really. Except Get Over
Yeah.
Here, not that one.
Oh, next aspect.
Protection.
Okay, protection? Okay, protection. All right, for me, you want me to go first?
Sure.
Momentum Shift.
Agree. I have that too.
This card is amazing. It does what you want a protection card to do. It does what you need a protection card to do. It costs 2 plus the card itself, but you get a heal 2 damage, which lets you stay in hero form longer as a protection player, and you get to deal damage to enemies. So you're netting 4, but it's healing and then dealing. And it's not. It doesn't have to be the villain. It can be an enemy. And protection needs some help dealing damage, frankly, potentially depending on the hero you're playing. So I think it's a great card.
I also have Momentum Shift because I think, like you said, it supports your win condition in an aspect that doesn't focus on that. I really like the attack cards in Justice and the ones in Protection because I think they're pretty interesting and unique. And I like that it widens the gap. So I've actually been playing a lot of Miss Marvel Protection using Momentum Shift. Because if you embed in the Momentum Shift, you don't get +2 on the healing, but you can heal for 2 and then deal 4 damage. Or if you use Miss Marvel to bounce that, you can use your whole hand to heal 4 and deal 4 to the enemy. Which, I mean, if you can just do that every turn, as long as Thwart's not going out of control, you're going to do pretty well.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that's... Yep.
I would agree. I mean, the first card that came to my mind was Night Nurse, but not an event card. So, yes, I would agree with Momentum Shift.
Not an event card. Yep, that's true. I mean, no, I'm not going to say it.
Let's do Justice next. I said clear the area for Justice, so that's the Rise of the Red Skull 1-cost card. I'm really big on cheap cards because I want to be able to do as many things as I can in my hand per turn. Like, ideally, I want to take like 3 actions. So if I could have 3 1-cost cards, even if they do piddly things, I enjoy that more than like 1 big costing card. Just the opposite of what you would think with me playing a lot of leadership. But I really like Clear the Area. For me, now that Clear the Area and Counterintelligence are out there, I rarely play For Justice. Even though it's still a really good card, a really efficient card, I'd rather play these things that let me like combo up to where I want to go.
1000% agree with Clear the Area.
Well, we're not very diverse.
It is literally the second best Justice card, only being overshadowed by Beat Cup.
Oh. Okay. I this is another one where critical encounters will make fun of me, but I was going back and forth between foiled. I actually really like foiled a lot. I think it's a really good card, especially if you're playing with 2 or 3 or 4 players. But I actually, and we didn't talk about this before, but Clear the Area is my favorite event, Justice event. It really is. It's great. It's a great card. So I agree with everything you said. I wish I had a different answer. Maybe I'll just go with foiled.
There you go.
Just.
All right, leadership. We'll have Crimson go first. He plays a lot of leadership. Favorite aspect.
Oh gosh, of course you had me go first. You know, I don't know I can't remember the name of it. It's the team up or something like that, or
Teamwork.
teamwork, I think.
Is it where you add the allies like attack or
Yes.
thwart to
Yep,
yours?
that one. I love that one.
It's pretty fun.
I've been playing that one a lot. I mean, granted, I'm sure there's definitely better cards. Like probably Get Ready is probably the best card.
Well, I can tell you what Kennedy's is going to be. I can almost guarantee.
I'm gonna go last. You can go next.
Okay, I actually chose Teamwork as well, and again, critical encounters will make fun of me, but I think this card is really thematic. I imagine, like, you have the Iron Man ally or something, and he exhausts. I love cards that.
Whoa! Thematic Iron Man and teamwork do not belong in the same sentence.
No. Listen to what I have to say.
Tony Stark sucks.
Like I imagine him shooting a repulsor blast off of Captain America's shield or something, right? So I think that's what Teamwork's going for, and I like cards that allow your allies to stay out there longer, that they don't take consequential damage. That's why Black Cat's probably my favorite ally, because she doesn't take consequential damage on an attack. So when I can use the ability, especially if you can buff up like Wonder Man or something, or use that, you don't have to discard and you get +3. Yeah, I'm sure there are. Combo King over here will tell me that there's much better combos to do. I just think it's a clean way to help out with extra damage and stuff. So it's fun. It's a fun thematic card, I think.
See, I answered these in text, and I told Mr. L that Make the Call was my favorite leadership event because it's just so good. It's hard to not love it. It basically, it's not even a leadership event. It's an ally, right? So I'm calling an audible and changing that. So I'm torn, and I'm decided right now, but I'm going to say Morale Boost. It's 1 cost of our card from Miss Marvel's pack, I think, that gives you +1 attack, +1, or you choose a hero. You have to be in hero form. It's a hero action. Choose a hero. That hero gets +1 attack, +1 thwart, +1 defense until the end of the round. I think it's a highly undervalued card right now. I think.
Critical encounters will make fun of you for it.
I'm sure they will. They already do. It's okay.
I mean, it's my favorite Spider-Woman card.
The Spider-Woman loves this card.
any hero that can ready is going to love this card, right? So you can, with Doctor Strange, if you play this, you can do 6 thwart using your cloak. So you don't even have to play your invocations. You can just thwart for 6. Same thing with Tony Stark and his arc reactor. You just play this, and now you can
Quicksilver
thwart for 6. Quicksilver is going to be great with it. Captain America is great with it. I think it's actually, there's like a whole deck type in leadership that hasn't really been explored that's all about buffing the other players. So I think it's a little bit weird in multiplayer because they're all hero actions, lead from the front and morale boost. But if you can get a bunch of those in your hand as someone that has like really big hands, like maybe you're playing Miss Marvel and your whole goal is just to like draw really big hands, and then your partner's playing Cap and you're like, here, I'm going to morale boost you twice and lead from the front on you. So now you're +3/+3, go wild. Like this cool like support buffing deck is something that people haven't really explored, but I think morale boost is the key to it. I like it.
Yep. That's
all right.
That's fair. That's fair.
Thanks for the questions, Mr. L. Okay, 6th place. Back to our Nemesis. So now we're into the Nemesis that are more tricks rather than treats. So what makes Killmonger so tricky, Crimson?
Okay, so Killmonger. Now, I do agree. Killmonger has not aged as well. But, man, like, I remember having such a difficult time with him back in core. And I understand you play Black Panther aggro pretty much are gonna just take him out. But he does, for me, he makes you play differently, which is a sign of a good Nemesis card.
Yeah, that's true. I like the Nemesis card, the sets that go right to the hero kit's strength.
He's got 2 traits that we haven't really seen any like combo-y stuff with yet either. Too. He's got Assassin and Mercenary, so lots of room to grow.
That'd be awesome. That will be well. He's going to need it, right? Because like I agree with Crimson that he hasn't aged very well. But
I think the chat said that earlier too. They said, I think it was when I ranked him super low. They said, of course that Black Panther was like Killmonger was one of the hardest Nemesis minions to overcome, but now that we have the deck that is Black Panther aggression, he just seems like jump change. But yeah, historically he's really, really tough. All right, and now we're all synced up. This is the first appearance of Whiplash in our deck list. So what do we think about Whiplash, Americano?
He's terrifying because I love playing Iron Man, and I love so there's a couple things. Retaliate 1, so he can deal you some damage.
My allies cry. They cry.
You don't if you don't have it, especially if you don't have any allies out, right? Oh, this is bad. The 3 attack is nothing to balk at, and then his treacheries are like terrifying. I think electric whip attack. You're probably going to discard instead of so when that's revealed, you choose to either deal 1 damage to your hero for each upgrade you control, or discard an upgrade.
Yep.
You're probably going to discard, which is really irritating because now you lose a hand size, right? And a piece of your kit. Hopefully you have both gauntlets out or something, right? But electromagnetic backlash, I love focusing. I love building the repulsor blast focused deck. So just throwing all the energy icons, all the lightning bolt icons I can into the deck. So that can be pretty bad. Granted, Iron Man will get some hit points as he's got his tech armor on, but man, I think I should have ranked him a little higher actually. Now that I think about it,
I'm actually feeling that way too. I have 2 awesome stories from Whiplash. So most of my games are 2-player games with my wife, and one time, so I played a lot of Iron Man Leadership back in the core set days. So I was playing Iron Man Leadership, and she was Captain Marvel Justice. So I drew Whiplash, and of course, what sucks about him as an Iron Man is, yeah, you have your gauntlets and you can hit him twice, but you're like forced to take retaliate damage then. So you end up burning one of your big events to get rid of him, right? You're either supersonic punching him, or you're repulsor blasting him, and you're super sad. And I knew that this electromagnetic backlash that you were talking about was going to be in the deck, so I was like really terrified because I had my repulsor blast deck all thinned out. I pretty much only had energy resources left, and then my wife's card surged into an electromagnetic backlash, like the very next card in the same scheme, and she was like, this card doesn't seem that bad. I just discard cards from the top of my deck. And she discarded both of the Captain Marvel triple energy resources and like 3 energy cards or whatever it was. I don't know how it happened, but she took 9 damage and it killed Captain Marvel. I'm like, what?
Oh, man.
We were just like, it was like one of our very first games. And we're just like, well, this game sucks. I don't know what to do about that. Like, run Spider-Man, I guess.
You're like another Arkham Horror difficulty game.
Yeah, I think that may have been what she said. She said, I thought this wasn't going to be like Arkham Horror where we lose every game. And I was like, I swear it's not. I swear. Maybe. I don't know. And the whip attack can be really brutal, too. Like, Black Widow actually really hates this if she doesn't have her grappling hook out, because she pretty much has to either burn a preparation or take a ton of damage. So I had one game where I think my wife was playing Iron Man and I was playing Black Widow, and I feel like every card I drew was electronic whip attack. Because we had both drawn Shadows of the Past, so we had Taskmasters like destroy your upgrade stuff in there, and we had the electronic whip attack. At one point, I chose to take damage because I only had 1 upgrade left out, and it was embarrassing, but it was painful.
These stories are making me want a modular set that has something like Shadow of the Past. Maybe not another copy of Shadow of the Past, but like maybe a card that brings in just the Nemesis minion or something, just so we can see these characters a little bit more. Because frankly, I mean, I remember the first few times I played this game, and I was, throwing the Shadow of the Past in. I wasn't ever getting it, and so I was like, why do I even why am I even setting up with these things? Because I
Obviously,
want to
you
see
haven't
these.
beat Kang yet, or you would know what's going to happen. So
Well, I have done Kang, but I want to
Okay.
see a modular set that I
more.
can throw in with Crossbones or something,
Okay,
right?
you want Crossbones to bring out your nemesis.
That would be awesome.
Crimson, apparently I messed up the PowerPoint and said that you said Whiplash at 5th, but we'll have to consort to our handy-dandy spreadsheet to really see what you said. I'm a liar.
You totally did.
Yeah, I think he's better than what you guys are claiming him to be. That 3 damage, that Retaliate 1, especially if you're like, oh, look, I got both gauntlets out. Oh, look, Retaliate 1 can suck it.
Yeah. Whoa.
It's strong.
It was interesting. So our 13th place choice was all the same, and then here we have like 5 to 6 all the same. So we seem fairly in agreement on like who like the worst is, and when
On
we
the
get
fringes.
there, who the
Yeah.
best is. But then in the middle, it's all just like I hate Miss Marvel, so I'm putting that one high. Whatever.
I don't know
we
what
tell
you're
you to
talking
think.
about. Sounds a little sus.
All right, I put Crossfire 5th because he's a Quick Strike minion, and Quick Strike sucks. I'll tell you about that when we get to Vulture, or we'll let Bob tell you. One of the two. But Quick Strike sucks. That's all you need to know, especially in
I do
multiplayer.
agree. 100%.
Your sniper shot. You hate sniper shot, don't you?
I hate just about everything from his kit.
But Marked for Death can be good.
Marked for Death?
Yeah, it could bring Mockingbird up quick. That's why he was
It
ranked so low
can,
for me.
but about 90% of the time I draw Shadows of the Past, somehow I already have Mockingbird in play. And
okay,
she
that
gets
sucks.
put
That
into
that does suck.
There was a ruling that I think if you're playing multiplayer and somebody else has basic Mockingbird, you can just shove her under there from somebody else's deck instead, which is kind of cool. So, or something like that. Maybe it was if that person drew it.
Oh yeah.
Bob will tell us that we're wrong, or what the ruling was. What I hate in his kit are his treachery cards. So he comes in with Quick Strike. Hawkeye already has low health, so you're getting hit for 2 to the face when you didn't expect it. As Hawkeye, you probably don't have like an extra defender laying around. It's just difficult. You've already blown your Mockingbird on rhinos charging at you, and now you have Crossfire smacking you in the face. Sniper shot, like you said, is just terrifying. Like it does the worst thing no matter what form you're in. So I think if you're in Alter Ego form, you place 3 threat in the main scheme. That's basically like a really good advance for Rhino, right? If he schemes for 1, he's got to draw 2 boosts to get that. This guy just gets it automatically.
Yeah, I think I overlooked sniper shot when I rated these.
That rifle's. Oh, dude.
Well, it is tricky
Mark
because
Phillips,
you do
wrong.
have to
That's a bummer.
discard or exhaust and spend a. I hate when you have to exhaust your hero to do the hero action, but spend a wild. Yeah, that is.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So the rifle. So if you do manage to kill Crossfire, and this comes up and he's not out there, and this attaches to the villain, all of a sudden the villain has a +2 attack attachment, which is brutal, and you have to spend a wild to get rid of it. Hawkeye has a lot of wilds, but it's like his bow and a bunch of other things. It's just not ideal. Not ideal.
You hope that your teammate is playing Black Panther at that point.
Yes. Yeah. All right, Americano, you have Viper now.
All the wilds. Yeah, for me, I don't. Okay, so Hail Hydra is is a scary card depending on how you set up the scenario. It can be pretty scary, and I just think that you're already playing with Spider-Woman. You're already playing cards. You're trying to boost up Spider-Woman as much as you can. So you're trying to play low-cost events or upgrades. So having that your hand size reduced, I know that it may not come up very often, but the idea behind having your hand size reduced just sucks. Just sucks for her. It's really bad for her. Bob said he had it happen one time. It was a thing once. Hydra regulars, I don't really care about. I think that if these had the guard minions, guard ones,
Ugh.
that would be like
Gross.
spoiler. So the Hydra soldier, this would be rivaling, I think, Baron Zemo.
Well, Baron Zemo, who we haven't seen yet, right?
Who we have not seen yet. Correct.
Oh, look, another quick strike minion. We'll let Crimson talk first, and then I can tell the quick strike story of Doom.
I mean, Quick Strike is just, in my opinion, Quick Strike is one of the strongest keywords on a Nemesis minion. Because not only, it's just like when it rains, it pours kind of thing. You're getting a minion, you're getting a side quest, you're getting a bunch of crap put into the encounter deck, and all of a sudden the damn thing's hitting you too on top of all of that. I do value Quick Strike as a strong keyword for Nemesis minions. And
Well,
that's that's just kind of why I put them higher.
Imagine when we get villainous on a Nemesis minion. The keyword, the villainous keyword.
Nah,
That
as long as you killed the Nemesis minion, it doesn't matter, right?
well, maybe
Quick
you'll
strike
get one.
and villainous. There you go.
Okay. I want to see a T-Rex with villainous on it.
So my story with this, I think I looked up the video recently so I could tell it on this episode. Apotropaic and Spider-Man and I were playing on Tabletop Simulator, and we were playing a bunch of like combo-y wombo-y decks where we were trying to do that like Doctor Strange infinite combo, I think. And we messed something up where we all got to really low health, and Spider-Man drew Shadows of the Past, and he had just blown the Spider Sense, enhanced Spider Sense on like an advance to keep us in the game, so he didn't have a way to cancel it. He had already exhausted to defend, so Vulture came in, he quick strikes for 3 and kills Spider-Man. In a multiplayer game, when you are defeated, all the minions you're engaged with become engaged with the next player. So the way Quick Strike works, when he engages your hero, he attacks again. So he...
Hey, are we still live? Okay, never mind.
I think
Sorry.
we're still live. But yeah, so Vulture moved over to the next player, killed that player, because they were also at low health, had no allies, and had already defended for the round. And then moved over to the third player to try to kill them. That player defended and stayed alive, and then they flipped their treachery card, and it was an assault. So the villain came smacking them in the face and killed all 3 of us in the same turn.
That's amazing.
Quick
that is
Strike
an amazing.
Is terrifying. From that moment, I have never been able to look at a Quick Strike minion in the face. It's brutal.
Oh, I love it.
I can't handle it. We already talked a little bit about Vulture as well, so I think that like his hand size limiting can be really brutal. I think that the cards that come in with him, stunned, he stuns, right? Doesn't he have like a swooping strike that like stuns? Is that a thing? Am I making that up? I'm trying to open it on my phone really quick.
Swooping
that
strike.
was a great game. I thought it was a horrible game.
You say swooping strike? Is that what you're sweeping?
Yeah,
swoop.
Sweeping swoop. That's it. What does that do?
It stuns your hero, and if Vulture is in play, it gains Surge. Freaking Surge.
Surge, see? Vulture's got to be in play, though. I mean, I guess if he kills all your heroes, you're never going to draw it, so he'll swooping strike into my box.
Yep.
All right, you had Killmonger up at 4. Tell us why. Why is he so tricky?
Because I like to use my Black Panther upgrades to deal my damage, and he can't do that. So I think that's I actually think it's a really cool. Again, I think it's a really cool thing when these Nemesis minions go directly at the hero kit, and this is like the most direct right at the hero kit. Ritual combat can be kind of scary. That's the treachery where you either take damage or place threat, depending on the boost card that you discarded. That's not as bad. I mean, it depends on the scenario, right? Like getting the choice is good, right? Like but I get what you're saying with what's his name, with Hawkeyes, where it's like
Crossfire.
You don't get a choice. You don't get a choice. It's just whichever form you're in.
I feel like the worst thing for Black Panther is Caught Off Guard. I'm more afraid of Caught Off Guard than Shadows of the Past as Black Panther, and that makes me sad, right? I wish there was something in Killmonger's kit that like attacked your upgrades as well. That would really put him over the top for me.
That would put him up with Whiplash level. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, at least.
I think that probably I would switch these two, Whiplash and Killmonger, because as we were talking about Whiplash, I was just remembering how horrible he is. Just, ugh. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with it.
Hey, look, the stars have aligned, and we've all agreed on 13th and 3rd place. So this is our first and only appearance of Baron Zemo. You may have noted I
Okay.
put 3 Quick Strike minions in a row, and I think Baron Zemo is the nastiest of all 3 of them. That's why he is the highest for me. Those guard minions, his like side scheme does damage to you, like everything in his kit is horrible, and it makes me wonder how people can be higher than him. But there
Definitely
Nemesis
are.
minions that are worse.
He's
So-
also the highest health quick strike minion.
True.
So yeah, I agree with you. I hate Hydra soldiers are horrible. Hail Hydra with this. Everything has Hydra. Everything has Hydra. So especially if you're playing this as Captain America in the any of the Red Skull scenarios, you're using those modular sets. It can be really bad. Oh, anyway, we have we want to throw Loch Ness in. He has a story about Baron Zemo.
Oh yeah, do you want to hop in the live show queue? I'll pull you in here. Hey Loch Ness, tell us your Baron Zemo zinger.
Yeah, so I happened to be playing 2-player Iron Man and Cap, and we kind of blindly chose a villain and the encounter deck, and we were playing Claw, Legions of Hydra. And sure enough, I think we drew Shadow of the Past like on turn 2. So now all of a sudden we had like 5 of the Hydra soldiers in there. And it was just so painful because every time you kill one, you get an encounter card.
Yep.
You know, it's like, thanks for your effort. Here's an encounter card. So it kind of just made the deck, Claw kind of cycles through his deck pretty quick anyway. And it kind of just added on top of that. And it just became such a huge grind. I mean, we won at the end, but it really took a while.
Yeah, especially if you got him like round 2.
Yeah, it was early. It was definitely early. And then, Madam Hydra's in there as well, and she's a pain in the ass.
So did you have Madam Hydra out as well at the same time as Baron Zemo? Because doesn't that lock you up?
No, we didn't have them both out at the same time. But
I think it was Banana Crapshoot that was talking about that on their podcast. That they in the side scheme draft league. I think they had. I don't even know what that combo would do, but I think it was like it somehow like made it super impossible to win because Baron Zemo has that when he's engaged with you, you can't thwart. And then Madam Hydra has something about how you can't thwart or she can't take. Maybe she can't take damage. I don't know.
Yeah, she can't take damage while Legions of Hydra side schemes in play.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So you can't thwart Legions of Hydra while Baron Zemo's in play. So you have to kill him before you can thwart Legions of Hydra. And at that time, Madam Hydra's probably placed a gazillion threat on there. So
Yeah.
Either way, you're just playing heroic at that point.
Yep.
Ignore Legions of Hydra. Hope you can survive.
That combo. So basically, the moral of the story is don't play with Cap when you have Legions of Hydra as your modular set. Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you can
Okay.
prevent that, yeah.
All right, man.
It's really funny because I remember when this pack was getting spoiled, everybody was like terrified of this is engaged with you, you cannot thwart. And in all my games, that's been the least like consequential part of his kit coming out. Usually he comes out and somehow I discard a 3 icon card and I take 6 damage to the face right away. I'm just crying. And then like I draw like 2 Hydra soldiers and I'm like, great, now the villain has 8 more health and I took 6 damage to the face. And everybody's thwarting because I have to go heal. It's just brutal. It's brutal. Bad set.
Oh,
Nightmare on Captain America's read.
yep.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you for the story, Loch Ness.
Yeah, no problem.
Can I just say how good his mic sounded?
His mic sounded really good.
I know.
We need to find out what mic he has.
Yeah. Why don't you let us know what mic you have on Twitch?
All right. And now we disagree again. So our first appearance of Loki. I have Loki in 2nd place. Not that he shouldn't be in 1st place, because Loki is horrible, horrible, horrible. He usually just never goes away from me. I'm sure you guys are going to say that as well. But at this point, when I see Loki come out and I'm playing Thor, accept the fact that I'm going to be taking 2 damage a turn for the rest of the game, and I ignore him. I mean, the 2 scheme is brutal for Thor, but at that point you just can't flip anymore and you have to win. That's how I've taken Loki.
That sounds like a really terrible Nemesis minion.
It does,
Like,
but not that
almost
terrible.
the worst.
He's like your brother. Come on, get help. All right, and you guys had Abomination second place. So tell us why Abomination is worse than Loki.
Because he can one-shot you?
Yeah. Have you seen the type of damage he puts out, even against Hulk?
Oh, I mean, you guys have him listed as weaker than Loki. That's what I'm arguing. You
But-
tell me
but-
why Loki is worse than
No.
Abomination.
No, no,
Because
no.
you can kill Abomination.
Oh, that's true. Eventually, yeah.
Well, here, let me tell you why. You want me, okay, I'll go straight to Loki. Let's go straight to Loki. So Abomination's horrible. So these 3, obviously, we agree. These are the hardest Nemesis minions in the game. Abomination is hard. He can do a ton of damage, and he will do a ton of damage. But Loki comes out, and by the time Loki comes out, and every time I've played with him, I get like, what is it? His Family Feud. That's the card. It's the Family Feud. Place 1 additional threat here for each Asgard card in play. At that point, for me, if I don't have a Justice player in the game, you're never getting rid of this Family Feud, and it just snowballs from there for Thor.
I do agree.
So-
When that card comes out, I just ignore Family Feud because it's basically just an acceleration token. You're never gonna the game's not gonna last 9 more turns. That investing your thwart there is worth it, right?
Yeah. Anyway, so because at that point you're just trying to kill the villain as fast as possible, ignoring Loki, just going straight at the villain with Thor. I'm not saying Abomination's easy. I mean, the 3 boost icons on every single card is nasty.
That's
I
where
think that,
Abomination gets me is the 3 boost icons on 5 cards.
like, what were they thinking, right?
I mean, they were thinking that Hulk needs punishment because Hulk is so strong, right? I think so.
Oh.
I love playing Hulk. I've really been enjoying him. So
Yeah,
to me,
so
it's brutal.
I think for me, the Nemesis minion I've seen the most are the top 2 are Abomination and Loki. Honestly, I've had those come up the most of all of the Nemesis minions.
It's because your games take so long as Hulk and Thor. That's what I'm hearing.
Probably, or maybe I'm just really unlucky. And then the other one is Whiplash because I play a lot of Iron Man. So
Yeah, we obviously just flip-flopped here in first and second. So I had Abomination in first, and it's mainly a combination of him and his side scheme. Most of the time he comes out, he's coming out with his side scheme as well. And to have him come out and get a hazard symbol right away is just brutal. And you can't get rid of that side scheme, even in solo, until you've gotten rid of Abomination.
Ooh.
So if you're playing solo as Hulk, the chance of killing Abomination and having 2 thwart left over to get rid of the side scheme is really, really low. So
Yes,
you're at
really
least getting a hazard symbol out of the total destruction, most likely. And that was just brutal to me. I find hazard symbols worse than acceleration tokens in my life so far.
So Ramus said, I drew Shadows as the second to last card with Hulk. 4 cards had 3. Yeah, had the 3 times boost icons for the Titans. Yep,
Well, that sounds.
that's right.
miserable.
Yeah,
That's why you hope
yeah.
you're playing protection with what is it? Preemptive strike. Maybe that would help. I don't know. You could make a
Oh,
whole
man.
deck around that. It'd be great. I don't know if it would be great. It would be brutal.
And nothing like that, and then, oh, look, I'm also playing against Claw, and he draws 2 of those +3s. Oof.
No fun. So we definitely all agree Loki and Abomination are definitely more trick than treat in this first year of Marvel
Yeah.
Champions.
I mean, Abomination's nasty. Loki is just freaking horrible. I like literally like the thought of playing against Loki makes me not want to play.
Those 2 have me excited for what Nemesis minions will look like in the future. And even the ones we saw in Rise of the Red Skull, like Crossfire has some really unique stuff where he in the past we had that Captain Marvel card, right, that surges and places 1 threat in the scheme. What's worse than that? Just place 3 flat off the bat. That's horrible. And the hand size limiting thing on Viper is very new. It's like a mechanic we haven't had on anything before, and now all of a sudden there's this hand size limiter. So I'm excited to see what they do with the Nemesis minions and sets in the next 4 hero packs. I think we've seen Quicksilver's Nemesis Avalanche, and he looks brutal. So I'm excited for Nemesis sets to increase in difficulty as they sort of refine their design.
Well, let's have a challenge to have a modular set that somehow interacts with these Nemesis sets.
I'll
I
have
would
to get
like-
right on it.
I would like to see a modular set that has Shadows of the Past in it.
Could be cool. We've seen what Gang Up in Scorpion's A Mess of Things set, right? So they
Yep.
can reprint these basic, or what is it, standard and expert cards in modular sets if they wanted to. There's no reason they couldn't.
Right.
Yep. Because modular sets are a choice to have that set in there.
Well, that was our first live show. Hopefully, I think people could hear us because they talked in chat, so that makes me feel a little better. Thanks for tuning in and being a part of the Marvel Champions community. And happy Halloween. Hopefully everybody's dressing up as a hero or villain tomorrow for Halloween, and you can let us know.
Yeah. What are you dressing up as, Kennedy Hawk?
I don't even have a costume yet because they canceled like trick-or-treating around here, so I have to figure it out. Last year, our family went as like Spider-Verse. I have like an Agent Venom like hoodie and like sweatpants, so I could look like Agent Venom when he was on Guardians of the Galaxy. My son went as Spider-Man, and my daughter went as Spider-Gwen because her middle name is Gwen, so that worked out perfectly. But I don't know what we're gonna do this year. My son's gonna be Iron Man, and my daughter's gonna be Loki because she's very mischievous. And I tried to get them to be Thor and Loki because it like perfectly resembles their personalities, but he didn't want to be Thor. He chose Iron Man, so we had to respect his decision because if you don't listen to your 4-year-old, it doesn't work out well.
That's awesome. My
Mine's
son.
simple.
What's yours?
I'm gonna dress up as a fat old white guy.
There you go. Well, I kind of am too. My son wants to be. He's going to be Miles Morales, and I'm going to be the fat Peter Parker. So.
Oh, there you go. Spider Dad Bod. Nice.
Yep. That's exactly right.
Sweet. Well, thanks.
And I'm eating cheeseburgers.
Oh, there you go. So you can just walk around with the cheeseburgers. That's perfect.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Thank you, guys.